Friday morning, 2-minute drill time here on the WDHA Morning Jolt. I'm Jim Monaghan, Chris Swendeman with me as usual, and we have a very special guest with us, the real Lisa Ann. Good morning and welcome back to WDHA.
Good morning. It's an exciting big weekend, and I love the 2-minute drill.
Yeah, you've got a big weekend ahead. It's the 50th anniversary Exxotica Expo that's coming to the New Jersey Exposition and Convention Center in Edison tonight, Saturday, and Sunday. What can you tell us about some of the big stuff going on this weekend, Lisa Ann?
Well, always remember that Friday nights at Exxotica is ladies' night. We all love a good ladies' night. Ladies get in free on Friday, and for the ladies, there is shopping. There is visiting with your favorite stars, but the shopping has really grown at Exxotica to the point that on my last day, I end up walking around and seeing all these vendors, clothes, t-shirts, toys. But it's just a great time for us in the industry. It's a reunion 4 times a year. We get to see all of our favorite, colleagues, and then we get to see our favorite fans. And the Jersey show has always been this really special. My fans from the Northeast that knew me since I was working at Al's Diamond Cabaret in Reading, that have watched me age and never get any taller, but just start looking older, and they still come by. And there's history there. When somebody walks up and calls me Sunshine, well, I know that they knew me before I used my real name in adult films, which is Lisa Ann. I used Sunshine when I was a house girl. That was my stage name, and nobody in California would let me use it. They said, no, you won't be taken seriously. And I remember thinking, am I going to be taken seriously after having this job? Probably not anyway. Why can't we use Sunshine?
I love your perspective. And by the way, ladies do get in general admission free on Friday at the Exxotica Expo, November 3rd, 4th, 5th in Edison. So the real reason we have the real Lisa Ann on is to talk football this morning here on the 2-minute drill.
So Lisa,
obviously.
Right, exactly. So the big game this weekend, Kansas City, Miami, in Germany, big matchup. Are we going to see two crazy offenses, or are we going to be disappointed with this game? Because it seems both teams are a little bit Jekyll and Hyde, where Miami will come out one week, blow the doors off a team. Kansas City has been doing that most of the season, but last week had a real stinker against Denver. What do we see this week, in your opinion?
I mean, the real, X factor here is obviously Taylor Swift. I mean, the Chiefs have won every game in her greatness. Now we know that she's getting busy to go on tour herself, and now that she can't be there, I don't know. And you worded it perfectly. It's very Jekyll and Hyde. We also know we've got some players here a little bit banged up. Tyreek Hill a little bit banged up. Travis Kelce as well. And then Patrick Mahomes, trying to be Michael Jordan for the flu game. What are we going to see? We look at these games too. We think about what it's like to travel internationally, the inflammation that comes with being on these flights, getting used to different field surfaces. Everyone talks about the fact that Jacksonville is the one team that has the custom cleats for the London games because that's considered their home away international destination. And so I think there's a lot of disadvantages. These are usually lower scoring games, although the fans come out and the international fans love our American sport of football, which is fantastic. I think we're going to have to wait and see injury reports through this week and practice. I look at both of these teams as, what do we find out? Is this a strong week for Kansas City's defense? They've shown up to be a stronger part of this team than they had in seasons in the past. And as a matter of fact, we used to like that the defense was so putrid with Kansas City because it forced Patrick Mahomes to often have to put up 4 or 5 touchdowns. So if you, like me, drafted Patrick Mahomes way too early in your fantasy football draft, and you, like me, are now living in regret, that defense is not helping our case when it comes to getting those extra points in fantasy football. This is going to be a matchup where I think for bettors, you might look at props more than you're going to look at the overall game, and it might be a stay away game. I don't often bet the international games because there's so many variables that we are not even able to really touch with, right? So we don't have enough instances, the weather, the food, the everything about it. But this is a matchup everyone will be watching. We've got to get up super early to do that. And I'm excited about it because both of these teams, like you mentioned, very Jekyll and Hyde.
Now we've got the Giants and the Raiders this weekend, and we've got maybe we see Joe Pesci, aka Tommy DeVito, at quarterback if Daniel Jones gets hurt. What do you make of the Giants so far this year, Lisa Ann?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, Tyrod Taylor really came in and gave them what they needed from a backup quarterback. Tyrod Taylor goes into the hospital after the game the other night. I'm assuming rib injury, concerning about lungs, those types of things. Smart, but this is not the place the Giants want to be in. And they obviously did not make a move in the trade deadline on the offensive side of the ball. They did get rid of some defensive pieces. So that means, are they blowing up this team? There's a hunch that we might not see Daniel Jones for the rest of the season over that neck injury. And that throws off every other piece there. But it's going to be Saquon Barkley because now Darren Waller banged up. But these are two, this is like a watching paint dry game, right? This is okay, here are things we know are going to go down. We know Devontae Adams is going to flip out on the sideline. We know this, okay? He left his best friend in Aaron Rodgers to go be with his other best friend, Derek Carr. And now Derek Carr isn't there. And Jimmy G just doesn't have the ability to take advantage of a playmaker like Devontae Adams. And you know what? He can go anywhere. But this is going to be tough. It's hard for Giants fans. They had a good run last year, but that good run has come to a screeching halt.
Wow,
I don't want to give away
analogy.
yet what you're going to do for your Monday night minute, but we do have the Jets on Monday night. What are your thoughts?
Well, it is the Chargers playing the Jets. Now, if you looked at this on paper, you would say the Chargers are a much better team. Justin Herbert's an amazing quarterback. Keenan Allen's playing lights out. Austin Eckler, you're getting Parham involved. What? But somehow the Chargers always find a way to lose the game. They really, really do. Now, Jets, you got Zach Wilson. He's doing all right. Okay. It's stressful to watch him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's getting some wins. I think the Jets can win this game at home only because somehow the better team, the Los Angeles Chargers, just find a way to lose.
Swendeman, we were talking about that. There are no style points in the NFL. You win or you don't. It's as simple as that.
3/4 of that game was ugly, but I will give this to Zach Wilson. On the last drive, and Lisa, correct me if you think otherwise, on that last drive to get them to tie the game, that was as poised and as confident as I've ever seen Zach Wilson play. And 3/4 of the game, again, going back to the Jekyll and Hyde, Zach Wilson looked lost. He looked like he couldn't throw a wet ball. That last drive, precision, 1 second left, spike it, they tie it for a field goal and win it in overtime. This could be the turning point for him.
Look, Zach Wilson is like when you got that big book that you had to read, you had to do the book report, and you had a month to do it. And you still did a great job, but you waited till the night before and you stayed up all night, tried to find the cliff notes online. You got it done. He's a serviceable quarterback. He has the ability to be better. He hasn't had consistency with his receivers, right? He hasn't had the relationship that Aaron Rodgers had with Alan Lazard. You're bringing in all of these pieces that worked so well with Rodgers. But I do think with the right discipline, he has the skill set. But I do also think that at a young age, as young as Zach Wilson is, all the doubt that has been brought in from, the naysayers and the negativity, and it's hard to be in New York as a starting quarterback, whether you have one good game, one bad game, the emotions change on you. I think he has the skill set. And I think it's great that Salah has stuck with him, especially through trade deadline. Everybody's saying send Tannehill. No, don't send anyone. You have this kid who you can hone in on and make him play like he did in that last drive of that game. He's got the skill set. He's just got to be better with his time management. And he's got to look at every quarter like every single quarter matters instead of playing his best when his back's against it.
Exxxotica Expo at the New Jersey Convention and Exposition Center. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, tonight. Oh, I meant, your wine too. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Are you bringing wine with you this weekend?
So I will have wine at the official after party at Sapphire 60. Sapphire locations have already taken my wine. I will be doing a wine tasting Friday night. And then I'll probably have some wine for my friends on Saturday night when we do the little hotel party as the after party for Exxxotica on Saturday.
All the information online at exxxoticaexpo.com, and you can find all things The Real Lisa Ann online at thereallisaann.social. Thank you so much for your time this morning on the 2-Minute Drill. We ran into overtime, but nonetheless, we love having you on.
Fantasy football players love overtime. You get extra points. We're all about this. You guys, thanks for having me again. Everybody, get yourselves out to Exxxotica. Come have some fun with us this weekend. We'd love to see you.